Well, I always realized I'd be accused of something, but this is the flashing lights. Well, delighted to be here, delighted to have you here. Delighted to be in New York, where I was born, a great city. Yeah, there's the, like, we are mercilessly and proudly patriotic. That's obvious. But I think one of the things that is often implicit in why we've been in our success, and that we really came to see as a huge advantage when we moved into commercial, primarily U.S. commercial, was, you know, when we went to the government in the beginning, it was the FBI, the CIA, and ended up being Special Operations Command. We had this very, very naive idea that because we were patriotic, we would just build things that work, where we would absorb the value creation responsibility, meaning the risk that we would provide more value for these incredibly special people than what they could pay us. That germ of an idea is actually probably the single most radical thing we ever did. It went from PG, which is the Intel product. Actually, the architecture of that product, the security model, and our interactions with NLP technology really, years later, gave us insights that were really important for building ontology. Actually, the original ontology precursor was patented, I think, by Bob McGrew and Aki Jain, two very famous technologists. One at Palantir, one went on to be a very important early researcher at OpenAI. And then we built a number of other products, Gaia for the Special Operations Command. So the products that powered those news stories, Maven, which has changed the battlefield, and then later in commercial, Foundry, which many of you use, ontology, AIP, the idea that you would need orchestration to make large language models valuable. So how do you build value, not just have an AI market? How do you work downstream of that? FDEs as opposed to just handing you the product. You know, and the way I think that Palantir is divergent from software Silicon Valley companies is that because we absorbed the value, and because actually we thought, you know, obviously it's kind of obvious, but because we thought and knew the soldiers who were going to battle were more important than we were, which at the time did not take much. But I mean, morally, we built products and a whole culture, FDE, internal orchestration, how we prioritize things, how we learn about your specific use cases, how we really never try to become the expert or become your business. We literally do want your business to be the specific, enhance the specificity of it, make it the very best business in the world. We do not want you to be a commodity. We're not trying to, all these things that we built something that's quite radical. That's just not how Silicon Valley companies actually work. The job of a Silicon Valley software company is to take your revenue, its multiple, transfer it into their company and get a higher multiple, and buy you a steak dinner. That's the job. This is why analysts didn't like us. We couldn't get bankers to underwrite Palantir. I mean, part of the reason why I wanted to do a DPO is because instead of handing huge amounts of money, or as retail investors, meaning people investing their own money, call attendees, to bankers, I wanted to make sure that normal people participated. But it was also, bankers were like, wait a minute, you're selling a product where there's no automatic, the only lock-in is that you're going to create more value tomorrow than you did today, and that you're going to get paid downstream of value, and there's no sales force paying for golf and steak dinners, and the people we met that even try to do that are unpleasant. They were like, you're not going to make any money, and we sure as hell aren't going to make money. And those people, you know, and honestly, they still hate us. I can't find a banker that likes me. I'm like, could you look at my bank account? Take a meeting with me, please. You know, none of them will meet with me even today. It's like, I'm not. This is not. This is not hyperbolic. Like you would think, I'd be able to talk to any banker now. They're like the doors closed everywhere. But because of those early moments, the formative moment of we must create value for these people who are risking their lives, and it has to be productized to the point where you can use it in Afghanistan, in Iraq. We built this culture of, we're non-parasitic relationship. And I really value those people. And I hope that what you sense in our partnerships with you is that we actually really are, with Ontology, Foundry, AIP, and our FDs, we are aspiring to lift you, and that we only actually get rewarded over time where your business thrives. And by the way, this just makes being at Palantir a lot more fun, because for all the crazy things we do, and we do crazy things, we blew up a massive, massive deployment in the US government because a general asked me to talk to somebody. I probably should have never done this. And was like, hey, I want to talk to your FDs about some of my great ideas. And of course, the people were like, no, that idea is stupid, but you're not smart enough to know how stupid it is. And so that set us back years. You can accuse us of a lot of things. The thing about Palantir, though, is we really are actually trying to supply software and LLM management in the form of Ontology that makes your business better. And that is a really cool thing, because you will, over time, grow to like us. And it's just much more fun on the inside. And so that's the fact that this is working like at a massive level of scale is actually even surprising to us. I would say we have many of the leaders of Palantir here. I don't think any of us thought it could work this well. Ted? Nope. I hope you have a great time. The other last, as a final note, the very confusing thing about this revolution is because the value is not in being a commodity, really the people who select and figure out a way to do it correctly are just going to do much better than the people who don't exert agency. And so the mere fact that we're finding ways to work together, and it's also country specific. I spent half my life in Germany, and no one's interested in this stuff in Germany right now. That's a huge problem. So, with that, happy times. Very happy. I'm delighted you came here, and pretty cool place to have a get together. And take care.